Hello and welcome to T1 Take episode 2, as we have a special guest today. He's not only an actor, he's a dancer, content creator, he's a model, he's a host, he does everything under the sun. We have, of course, EricEruptionTai. How you doing today, sir?
Let's go.
Oh my, woo, put the weapons away, put the weapons away.
Yeah. I got a license for these boys. So thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it, and good to see you guys again. And it's been what, 2 weeks? Still on that that EWC hangover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was such a great time, man. I really had a blast.
Yeah, it was a great time for all of us. I mean, it was great to have you on board. And I mean, you're kind of, dare I say, the inspiration of this podcast name, because of the fact that, and to kind of let all the viewers know, we had like these cold openers, right? We had literally less than an hour to be like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Welcome to the day 1, 2, or whatever. And Eric would always open, and we would always be in the background, and we would just literally have one take to do all of this stuff. And so big props to you, Eric, on ensuring that we did a great job, really set the tone for the day. And I wanted you early on this podcast because of that and that hype that you bring.
No, you know, I couldn't have done it with you guys. It was team effort, mate. That first one set the tone. You know, with the Power Rangers and whoever's idea that was pretty cool. Yeah, and I think they really liked it. So it's always sometimes in life you just got to give your best shot. You know, take your first step. And that first step should be that, you know, kind of like a really good step to impress whoever's watching. And we did it. And then from then on, they said, let's do it every day. We're like, what? Oh, okay. So it was pretty exciting. And it makes things easier when you work with people that are good and, you know, on the same level. We're on the same page, and we like a lot of things together. So yeah, I had some fun.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very honored by that. And a great experience overall. It was great to meet you as well as the entire experience. But before we go into that, let's talk a little bit about something that's you're really big on. And of course, this is going to be the charity. All donations. If you like this podcast, you like what Eric is bringing to the table, please do give a shout out to this charity. They have a donate link. We're going to have that one below. But please first, Eric, intro this charity that we're going to be talking about today.
So, the one that there's a couple, but usually it's through the church that I'm with. So ever since I was a kid, growing up, I've been raised in the church, and when I say that, it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But they were more known as Mormons, you know, because of the book that they bring around. It's about the Book of Mormon, which is another testament of Christ. So we're Christians, you could say, and ever since, like, I've always seen the church. Even till now here in the Philippines, like when there's storms, one of the very first people or organizations that respond quick is the LDS charities, Mabuhay Deseret, and our church in general. So, and 100% of what we give as members of the church goes to those that are in need. There's no cuts or anything like that. It's 100% going to the people in need. So that's why I've always supported them ever since. And they have really good campaigns on helping, like for instance, people with disabilities, people that don't have school supplies, people that don't have enough money to pay for medical expenses and everything like that. We have this thing called Light the World campaign, which comes out every December, November, December, January. And it is, once again, 100% goes to all those that need it. And that's just a little history about, you know, the LDS charities, Mabuhay Deseret, and Light the World. So
what a great cause, honestly. Great introduction. And to be honest, I was like, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I love the fact that you were able to do it. It actually sounds like it's Mabuhay Deseret Foundation. Yeah. I think that's going to be an easy way to remember it. But again, we'll have the links to get into that one. A great cause. I saw that they do a lot of, like, you know, helping out with just some of these kids that are going a little less fortunate for them. They had like 100,000 cases that they've done really well. So big props to that. Thank you, Eric, for bringing that to our attention as well, because awareness has got to be huge on this one. And I love the fact that you have the Superman shirt, because again, it's all about just representing on this one, because again, you're kind of like the representative for this, right?
Yeah, and it's so, you know, everyone, as they say, not everyone well, not every hero wears the cape, so it's not comfortable. You know, so we are super people when we help out, when we can do what we can within our vicinity, whatever circumstances we have, we can go out and help in many ways. It doesn't have to be virtually money. It could be service. It could be by helping others or creating events or you know, just helping the old lady next door with her groceries or you know, planting, just whatever thing. There's a saying that I've always lived by as well, is that whenever you're in the service of your fellow beings, you're only in the service of your God. So you serve your brothers and sisters, you're serving God also.
Oh, what a great quote. I mean, just kind of on that note, you were talking about like wearing a cape. I wear a cape around all the time in the public, and just people think I'm weird, so they don't think of me as a hero. Very different kind of outcome in that regard. But again, we'll get into that a little bit more. But let's talk a little bit about the experience. I mean, we met in 2 weeks ago at the EWC. Let's talk a little bit about just how things were in the lens of Eric, right, in terms of just like the overall experience at EWC.
Oh man, I must say that in regards to esports, and I've done a lot in esports as you know, show matches, hostings, and everything like that. But this one hit a home run. I don't know, it's just really the experience. First time in Riyadh. First time in some place where it's like 45 to 50 degrees and it's just dry heat. TikToking on the street. Waking up every morning, going to the gym again, you know, still having those healthy habits, but you know, eating, the food was great. I'm just naming everything from day one, and then meeting you guys. Everyone was such a good vibe. We all bring something different to the table. We learn from each other, and that's one great thing about life, is that it's sometimes all about the people you meet, the people that you connect with, and those things, the goodness that you can take from them, and then cultivate it and utilize it in your own life. You know what I mean? So, other than that, Riyadh is such a great city, and to bring esports into the world on a World Cup level, and having all these different games, not just Honor of Kings, but all these different types of games, esports in general, and just seeing the love, the passion, the desire, like everyone is on the same page. Everyone wants to really go out and share esports, you know, whether it's just this game or another game. We all have that one thing in common, and that's that love for esports. So and we all shared that. Amazing. And we some of us have never met before, but when you talk about one game, it's like boom, we're on the same level, same page, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was actually the coolest experience. It was like the metaverse of gaming, when you're seeing other like giant, you know, games and like the talents that you've seen, and you know, the players, right? It was a whole different experience to be like, oh, I know those guys, and then they have like their own group. We had our own group. Everybody has their own in that way, and we're all kind of like eating together, and we're kind of just making a lot of jokes. It was like a great camaraderie with everyone there.
I agree. I just kind of explain it, like when I came back and trying to share it with other friends and that are not even in esports, they could relate a little bit, but it was just really good to share with you know, with those that I, you know, the mates and stuff like that here. And besides that, being a host or being a talent, this doesn't come often. You know, how often can you say, hey, I hosted, or I shoutcasted, or you know, I was a panelist at a World Cup event. Oh man, you can't say that. Yeah, really. There's just only a few, you know, you can count on your hands how many people can have that opportunity or privilege and honor to represent your country. You two from Singapore, me from the Philippines with Manjin and Mara. There's only 3 of us, and the population of the Philippines is 125 million. It's 3 of 125 million. You got to go over there and represent in this particular game. And it's something that we all love, you know. That's really awesome.
Just to say something, you also did almost everything, right? So you did the hosting, you did the interviewing, you also did shoutcasting with us, right? So for those of you that didn't know, Eric was on the broadcast with us for the show matches, 1v1 Solo King, right? Where the winner was like 1,000 USD, something like that, right? And I thought that must have been a very cool experience for you, because to my knowledge, you have never shoutcasted before. So what was that like for you?
Oh no, I've shoutcasted before and it was terrible. It's tough, man. It is tough. Yeah, man. And I've said this and I mentioned it to you guys and the rest of the team. Even with the other games, with Dota and ML and all those, I've always been usually the main host, the stage host. And I just say, man, I think the hardest job here is being a shoutcaster, is because not only that you need to know the game, you gotta have experience with it to be able to know what the players are going through, and you gotta picture it in a viewer's mind on how they should really see it, or how they should view it, or how they should hear it. And at the same time, you're shouting on the top of your lungs. You know what I mean? Like, and that's tough, man. Imagine going through games in and out, where there will be 6 minutes, kind of like what we like. It's a nice, easy job. But then you got games that go for like 15, 20, 30 minutes, you know, and so forth. And you're shouting, you know, at the same time. Then you got to go through game 1 to game 3 to game 5, game 7. And it's tough. So, you know, to even go on a toilet break, that's even tough enough. Yeah. We all know that.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of summed it up. I mean, not to say that like hosting is easy or interview, that's a whole nother skill set and everything. But casting is different because it's kind of like you're trying to be like a storyteller as much as possible. You really want to get the feelings of the game to the viewer, which is definitely not the easiest thing to do. But again, I think that it's comes with practice and more than anything else. And I mean, you're talking about some of those game times and the 6-minute ones, while you're kind of okay with that, especially in like a long day and you have a huge schedule ahead of you, but those 30-minute bangers, those are the ones that really get the blood pumping and you're kind of like excited about.
No, definitely those big ones. Oh, far out. But it's enjoyable at the same time. I'm sure, especially if you go for the team that wins, or I mean, no bias or anything like that. And that's when it comes down to being passionate about what you do and loving what you do. It doesn't feel like a job. You know, you're just really sharing and just sharing everything what's in front of you, and at the same time, the experience is also amazing at the same time.
Okay, I want to ask on us. I think this is very important for everyone that comes on. So what I'm curious about for everyone is what you're doing now. Is this what you envision yourself doing when you were much younger? Did you even want to be in esports in the first place? And how do you get here?
All right. Long story short, I remember the first game that I played, I was like 4 or 5 years old. My dad just came from the US and he brought home an Atari. Sorry, that really shows my age. And this was in the 80s, late 80s. Okay, late 80s. So I remember just playing it and just getting hooked already, like loving it, loving the feel of it. So if those that don't know, it's a joystick with one button, and you just press that one button, and then you just move it around. So and then from then on, I just realized that I have this thing for games. You know, I love games. And then coming from a family that has 3 boys, I was the youngest, so 2 older brothers. They also were into it, and then we invested in my first ever console, which was Nintendo, and it came with the Duck Hunt with the gun.
Yeah, the gun.
And, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then Super Mario Brothers, and that was a year after trying to go to my next door neighbor's house whenever I was free and just look peeping through the window and see whether they're playing it, because we couldn't afford it. So it took a year later until we could find and buy and purchase our own one. And luckily my dad said, hey, you know, I've got this extra money. I can, you know, because back then $200 in the 80s is really a lot of money. So he put down 200. I know the precise amount, $249.
Wow.
And I was just so happy. I mean, I didn't know the value really back then because we don't know it as a kid. But the fact that he gave that to us, he just made sure that there was time frames when we can do it. I have to do my sports first, and at the same time my studies. And every game that came out, from Mario's to Punch Out to whatever console we got, my goal was to beat all my other brothers. So and back then Street Fighter came out as well, and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and so we were so hooked that we would even rent the arcade machine and bring it home.
Oh wow!
And so we'd rent that, and we'd have the whole thing one to one. And I just knew then and there that I wasn't only passionate about it, I was actually pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Because I was beating everyone. Everyone that came from my street would come over and challenge Eric. And I was the youngest brother.
Nice.
I'll beat everyone in Street Fighter and all that sort of stuff. So why I'm sharing this is I had no idea that fast forward 20 plus years later, I would be a streamer. I would sign a contract with Facebook Gaming. I would sign a contract with Mobile Legends and also Arena of Valor and all these other games and entities and also become an ambassador for games that are or companies that are related to esports. I don't know. I really didn't picture myself being this. It just came to the point where I live by one thing, that when you're a kid growing up, sometimes you don't realize what God needs you for in the future. But like, just for instance, dancing. I had no idea that I'll go viral for dancing, 3 years ago when it came out. I just really didn't know. It's just sometimes when you're put into some situations, try and maximize it, try and refine the skills that come with it. And because you never know that when that talent or skill is needed later on in life, you got it. And you just realize, hey, far out. God put me in this situation 20 years ago when I was a kid doing this, or 10 years ago when I was studying at school or something like that. You just really don't know. It's kind of like a Slumdog Millionaire scenario. If you've seen that movie, like
we have.
He didn't know that he would utilize those life experiences in those $1 million questions. But it was precisely happened to him. And I'm sure that you guys can relate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you think about it, but it's like one of those things where you don't really know until it's much, much later that you have that hindsight, right? But I mean, kind of going back to your story, which is great, and thank you so much for kind of letting us all know this. But the transition from just being like a great gamer to like where you are now in terms of like having success as a streamer and having these games like reach out to you, like how do you bridge the gap for aspiring streamers to be kind of like you?
Oh, shucks, man. Man, if I tell you my age.
No, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that.
It's okay.
We're not here. Yeah, we're not here to destroy any dreams from potential suitors.
Yeah, like honestly, I would love to think that when it comes to streaming in general, I just make sure that you have some sort of rules, because I mean it is work, so I make sure that I have time with my son. I make sure that I have time with my wife, family. I make sure that that I work out, because that's why they call me the fit gamer. I do all these things prior to when I go to the games. But unless games or what I'm doing is work at the same time, then I can kind of like prioritize this and that. But yeah, I just make sure that I have a checklist before I go into the gaming scenario or to any esports or anything. I'm not saying that it's a waste of time. Man, this is as a celebrity 4 years ago, before the pandemic, I was taping every single day, like going to auditions, going to shoots and everything like that. And little did I know that when I signed my contract in 2019 for streaming, pre-pandemic, we had no idea that pandemic was going to hit in 2020.
Yeah.
So in 2020, I was so lucky. Out of 100% of my mates that were a celebrity, were like acting big stars here, had no work, and looked to me and say, "Oh, Eric, can you help me out? Because I got no work. We're doing a shoot, but I have internet at home. I'm good at this game. Maybe we could do a collaboration. So while my game, my celebrity, or you could say acting work hindered, I had streaming providing for my family. I just had a baby.
Yeah.
So what was I going to do? So I was so very fortunate and blessed that I'm getting huge income during pandemic.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to do was I just wanted to share and do collabs with all these other mates of mine who are celebrities as well. Told them to invest in a computer, get the streaming peripherals, camera and all that sort of stuff, and then just jump on my stream. And I'll just put your camera on. So while I was streaming, I'll have them there, and that would also boost my following. At the same time, it would also boost theirs. So it was my way, like going back to our very start of it, it was my act of service that I helped them out. You know, going through depression, I'm sure a lot of people went through, you know, some sort of depression not having work, but just us guys that were online, prioritizing streaming, gaming, social media. It was a blessing for us, and just I don't know how I would have survived the pandemic if I didn't have a contract with Facebook or with all these other gaming platforms. So you just can't predict the future, right? So I would just say prioritize it when you can. If you're really skilled in that level, go for it. Really just go out there. If you love the game, if you're a bit of a talker as well, it helps. You know, or if you're really good at the game, like professional level, you can go into a point where as a streamer, you can educate, you know, just like, oh, this is what you should do. This is what items you can get, you know, all that sort of stuff. Mine was pure entertainment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I became top number one Philippines and world in some heroes in a particular game. And so people looked up to me like saying, hey, far out, Eruption is just not an artist. He's not a celebrity. He's actually a real legit gamer. So, you know, and that to me was huge respect, because I was able to get gain the respect and love from the people that watch me.
Okay.
Interesting.
I want to ask something else. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Eric is also known as Fake Gamer in most of the games that he plays, right? The tag, the IGN and whatnot. So I think throughout the years of gaming has always been having a stigma where, look, gamers are not very healthy, you know, they don't sleep well, they don't eat well. What is your advice for gamers out there that want to maintain a healthy lifestyle? I mean, it's pretty hard to get to your size, let's be honest, because you have to go through a lot of training, a lot of food as well, right? The price does not come at a cheap cost, right? There is a lot of effort put into this. But if, you know, we're just average Joes, we want to have a decent, healthy lifestyle as a gamer, what goes? What's supposed to happen?
Oh man, I remember timeless times during the pandemic. Well, you know, everyone was getting unhealthy, and I would always say, hey guys, do your best. You can't go outside, can't go outside your house, but you can go to the floor and just do some push-ups or sit-ups or something like that. You know, calisthenics, and even I would have streams that are purely fitness, just to help. Because some people had no idea what to do. They're like, how do I start? Well, what do I do after the push-ups? How many reps do I do? How many sets do I do? Is this enough? Hold on, I can't even do a push-up. Like, there were people that literally can't even do one push-up or one squat or something like that without any assistance. So I would share my knowledge. And the thing is, I studied sports science. So I would always try and share that, even on live streams and stuff like that. And I would tell them that there were let's say 4 things that you got to take into consideration if you want to live a healthier lifestyle or be healthier, even as a gamer. So number 1 is nutrition. Number 2 is cardiovascular, and I'll combine that with resistance training. And then third is just make sure that you're well supplemented. I'm sure you guys take your vitamins and all that sort of stuff. And then last but not the least is sleep. So us gamers, we don't get enough sleep sometimes. But man, sleep is where you charge. That's where your body really, you know, gets that socket in, and then you're going into that mode where your body is just really healing and recovering. It's like going to the fountain in Dota and staying there for like 10 seconds to fully get healed. in our perspective, we have to go to sleep and try and sleep as more than 6 hours, you know, and sometimes, you know, time is money, and sometimes you just get addicted to the game and you just play too much. So my number one advice to all the kids out there, or even to adults, is just to try and put a balance or prioritize your fitness, your health, your nutrition at the same time while you're playing the game, or do all that sort of stuff and then go into the gaming scene. So yeah.
I feel like we need to create a Honor of Kings specific workout based on your KDAs. Like if you die X number of times, you need to do that many push-ups or run miles or whatever it is. Like if we had to create some sort of like ad hoc fitness program for guys that generally speaking have probably not really done a whole lot in the exercise world, where would you start, Eric? Like, you know what I mean? I think KDA is a very easy way to do this. It'd be like, hey, this is gonna, you know, train me to die less, look for those kills, and then really to kind of help me and my team as well as my own fitness. Like, how would you kind of shape this one?
Wait. And to add on, they cannot do push-ups. Let's say we're talking about kids here. Yeah, so they can't do the proper like push-ups. To be clear, I'm not saying this because I can't do. I can do like 20 of them. Don't worry.
Yeah, we have a hard time believing that, but go on, Eric.
You know what? So what I usually do for young kids is there a sport that they actually play?
Okay.
If they're really good at a sport, play more of it. And for those that are adults, like older, like 30s, 40s, 50s, I go back to them and say, hey, what sport did you love? Go back to it, you know, because they were already at one stage good at it. They know how to play it. So there's not much things that they need to be they need to learn, or they just need to relearn or reteach their body. Other thing that I implemented it during the pandemic was before you play any game, just make sure you do the work first.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
go and do your sports, or one way I would also demonstrate it on my live stream, or I would even make videos or tutorials on where to start. So if you don't know how to do push-ups, I'll explain, you know, step by step on how to do it. And there are easier ways. So instead of doing it with your feet and hands, you do it on your knees.
Okay.
There's just basic ways, and just step by step on how they can really progress into from beginner level to intermediate and to advanced to professional level. So, and
I
get
think
a
you
lot
need to
of
write this
people-
down by the way.
I have it on
Sorry,
record.
go on, Eric.
I have it on record, so like I'm just gonna replay that if I need to. Okay, so I mean, this brings us back to one of the conversations we had, like even within the three of us, right? Talking about going back to your sport, and we were asking about, hey, how do we train our body to be healthier, but also do well in the sport? And if I remember correctly, your advice was train for your sport, right? So if I play football, like train for football, and then like for Holler, he does BJJ, right? So train for that, right? And I think that was very helpful.
That's really good, because it's something that you already are inclined to. You already know it. When you know something comes confidence. There's a confidence level. But when you go to and play a sport that you have no idea, you're going to be like on the side, like looking at everyone so good, and a different level. You're going to be really, that lack of confidence is not there. And that's where you really push in the gamer mindset, right? The mentality of, far out, I'm going to learn this. You know, I'm gonna get the racket, or I'm gonna get the ball and just really train it. And it also comes into when you train, or you go to these clubs and you go to trainings, you got to make sure that you do your extras. You come home and you search YouTube. How do you do this? How do you, if it comes to basketball, how do you do post moves? How do you shoot the three? What's the formation? What's the tactic? How do you flick the wrist? So, you know, it's the same thing with any sport that you love.
So physical fitness aside, though, and it's great to have those, right? But there's also a mental aspect of this, right? In the sense that, like, not only do you need to be mentally strong, we were talking about, you know, earlier you were talking about, come COVID, there was some like depression and things like that. Obviously, when you're gaming, you're not always winning, right? And sometimes you're stuck with people who will be nameless here, but basically let's just say that they're not my favorite kind of tofu, right? And so you're going to end up losing some games, right? And then that is a real attack on the mental psyche. Like, what are you doing to kind of bolster that so your shields are up and you're able to kind of withstand some of these games?
You know what? I think it happens to the best of us. There are times where you just got to learn, and there's a certain age where you just got to learn how to accept defeat.
Okay.
And sometimes it could be hard for us, especially with those that really want to win 100%. You don't, or you really dislike failure. But sometimes you have to accept it, and actually not sometimes. Most of the time, you really got to just say, "Hey, frick, I got to take this one on the chin. I lost fair and square," you know. And now you just got to go back and see, "Hey, where did I go wrong? How can I fix this? What are the skills that are lacking? So what do I need to do to refine this and to improve and progress?" And then when you see yourself progress from something that you used to be really bad at or you didn't do well at, man, that's where you just give yourself a tap on the back and say, "Hey, man, I did well. Hey, I did it." And it's even better when someone else sees it and says, "Hey, Tofu, you're 100 stars now. How did you get there?" Or your support level is not usually what do you call it? What's that skill that you use?
Execute.
He had to upset it himself.
Actually, I wanted you to say it. So your supports don't have execute anymore. It's got heal, so you can heal everyone else. You're a support player. But just like little things like that. Knowing the tactics and just trying to always have a mindset to improve, and willing to take something on the chin. You can't always win. You're not always gonna win. Yeah. It's all about picking yourself up and relearning things and living and putting your foot outside your comfort zone, because that's where you're really going to grow. You need pressure.
Actually, this is a conversation I had with a parent a few years ago, and talking about just gaming in general, because most parents now, I think three of us all have parental experience, right? So we talk to our kids about gaming and stuff like that, and schools across the board have always advertised that, hey, gaming is not exactly that good for your kid. But now, I don't know about in PH, but at least here, the government is kind of changing their stance, and it's more of like, okay, how about healthy gaming, right? And my advice to parents was, you should let your kid game, because I think gaming is the best place for you to learn about failure. Because I think throughout in all your years, you will experience many more failures than you have success. And it's because you have those many failures and then you learn from those failures that you kind of like, okay, I know what to do now, right? And I think that's a mindset that's very important for kids, because I mean, obviously as a parent, you want your kids to have the best in the world, but to be the best, you have to fall sometimes. And the fall might not be as kind in the real world, right? I think the gaming world offers you a little bit more safety net, where you can fail as many times as you want, but you can also try as many times as you want.
No, I agree with that. That's you're spot on there, because in games it's not real. Like, I don't want to say it's not real, but it's not real. You're gonna lose a game. You're just gonna be affected emotionally. But I love that, because gaming has taught me a lot as well. Like, it has taught us a lot, all of us.
True.
That hey, how to do this, how to do that, how to learn this, and all these different skills and stuff like that. And it all comes down to that mindset, and just knowing how to accept it, move on from it, and try the next one. It's like that saying, you dust it off and try again. And sometimes kids these days don't understand that.
Yeah.
They take it, and there's a usual thing in the Philippines when there's five of us playing, and then we lose, and then we go, okay, let's try again, yeah. And then most of the guys will say, all right, let's in Tagalog they say mikbawi, let's take revenge. And then the second time we lose again, and the saying that usually goes around is, "Oh, guys, I gotta eat. I'm gonna have dinner."
Like 4 p.m.
Gotta have dinner. My girlfriend's or my parents are calling me. Yeah, it's just an excuse to just get out of there, you know, because we think of our MMRs or our ranks, we take it to heart, and I'm that type of guy too. One of my rules that I put up is if I lose twice in a row, take a break.
Yeah.
Take a break. What? But sometimes if no, 2 is really short, right?
Actually, I'm like that too. I use 2. We're going.
Yeah. No, that's it. Like you gotta give yourself a rule, you know, because if not, third one, and then you lose again, and then imagine if this was a morning, and we've all experienced this. This is like 6 a.m. in the morning, and you really wanted to rank up, and you got a time frame to hit, and you got 3 losses, then goes to 4 losses. What happens to your mind throughout the whole day? It's only 6 a.m. in the morning, and you're already like, you know, you're on beast mode. You know, you're it's like I don't even want to gym anymore. I don't want to say hi to my wife. I don't want to talk to my kids. You know, I'm not going to say hello to my driver. Man, it just affects your whole day. So one of my rules that I put down was, and it's just only like the last 3 years during the pandemic, because I was playing and always trying to get higher ranks because I'm streaming. So when people see me on my stream, it's like, holy shucks, Eric's got 150 stars. You know, so there was always that level that I always wanted to reach. And if you do it wrong, like you go and get up in the morning and then you get all these games and it just ruins your whole day. And that's why you can't take things to heart. So set yourself some boundaries, some rules, and just make sure it just doesn't affect you inside, you know, because it can ruin your day. It sucks.
So what is one way to cope about that? Like you lost twice, you go on a break. What are you doing to kind of get the mindset right again?
Like a reset.
Me, I love it. I go to the gym. I let it out. Let the steam out. Just let it out, and then next thing you know, come back, it's reset. Another good thing is if there's a project or some sort of work that you got to do that you also enjoy, do that. Family time usually happens as well. Like, because I'm not really that angry yet, so spend some time with the kids. You know, put a smile on your face, and you know, do some drawings. Because my son is only 6 years old, so he's still young. So we do a lot of drawings together. Actually, after this, I got to go to soccer.
Oh, nice.
Football. I'm gonna, because he really enjoyed it last Saturday. 13 years, man. I've never kicked a football. I've never been on the pitch, and 13 years later, Saturday, I was invited by a club just to come, you know, and play. And he said, "Yeah, bring your son." Man, I scored a goal.
I saw. He did a very beautiful
header, bro.
Boom.
Oh man, I was really shocked, man, and I was really proud of myself. I actually I said, "Wow." So all this weight that I just lost, you know, as I shared with you guys, I shed around 40 plus pounds, and I really felt it on the soccer field, on the football field, and it was amazing just to run around again, and play some D, get some footwork in there, and get a header goal. It just felt like, you know, pulling out the Ronaldo. I did it, man. It was so fun, and just to see also my son having fun with it, it was really good. So we decided to take him involve him to football training just around the corner now, because the one that we went to was 2 hours away. It's far away, because just helping a friend with her club, and now there's one that's just let's say 10 minutes down the road. So I want him. That was also his first time training. So I said, yeah, let's try and get something, you know, instilled, because I really want to send and give him that mindset as an athlete. Because when you're an athlete, whether esports player or an athlete, you know, track and field or whatever sport you play, there's that certain mindset that you can't duplicate. Yeah, honestly. You in order for you to progress, you've got to put in the hard work. Yeah. You got to discipline yourself. You got to sacrifice. You got to do all these great things to be able to progress and improve. So I want him to learn that. And he's only 6 years old, so hopefully he gets that mindset.
Yeah. He will. He'll have to eat the pain. But for now, the people that's gonna eat a lot of pain are the people in PKL, right? We already have our teams coming in. I heard you were trying to acquire one of the teams, or a team for PKL. How's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's going well. I got a little bombarded with the businesses, so I sometimes you just got to take a step back and say, hold on, what do I got to prioritize first? So I kind of took a step back with the teams. We have a team that's doing really well that we currently have, but there's also teams that you just want to acquire. But if you acquire them, that comes with a price.
Yeah.
So right now, everything that I'm doing is for the businesses, and that's what's basically watering the garden. That's what's developing fruits and producing everything like that with in our household. So I got to prioritize that with the family first before I can go and step a little forward first with esports. So, but yeah, that's definitely the vision in the future. However long it will take, I've done it before, and long story short, I've had players that came from my team that I put in boot camps physically. And there's a first time that they were in boot camps, and I saw them at the Esports World Cup. And just seeing those players that were Eruption Squad players, 2 years later, 3 years later, they're at the World Cup. And that to me was already just like a blessing. It was something that I said, hey, Eruption, you did something right. You did something right with these kids. You chose the right ones, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Two of them made it. Two of them made it to the Esports World Cup.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Coming from nothing, just guys that I used to play with online. Put them in a boot camp, and we did so well. But then I had to let it go because I had to prioritize my family.
Yeah.
And then just made sure that they had opportunities with other teams before we really let them go.
Yeah.
And then look, 2 years later, they're at a high level. They're playing in different countries. One of them was already playing in like Vietnam. The other one's in Indonesia. The other one's in Singapore. So yeah, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Very cool. Very cool. Sorry, Ken?
PKL, any expectations? Will they be able to rise higher across the different regions? Because we're going to have Nations Clash, which is going to be PKL, IKL, MKL. So Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines. Do you think they will perform better than the performance at KWC?
Philippines is the best, bro. I'm just kidding.
Boom, you heard it here first.
We'll eventually get there. I know Filipinos, man. And just like the other game on the other side, right? We weren't considered the greatest players in that game. But man, fast forward 2 years later, we became champs, in and out. World champs here, world champs there, world champs there. So I really believe that the Filipinos, man, they got really good potential. When they put something, if they're cultivated right and really nourished by the right people and the right teams, then man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. We become unstoppable. So this next competition coming in November, I think.
Yeah.
The big the tournament. I think we'll be up there. We'll be up there. At least a podium finish.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing and the biggest takeaway, right? I think that EWC, KWC wasn't the greatest showing for them, but I do have high expectations moving forward. I think that that's going to be a big one. They're going to take a lot of those losses, so to speak, and they're going to kind of turn them into lessons. And I think that they'll just grow and be even stronger. I mean, those three teams, all of them really showed flashes of brilliance, but they were kind of, put down in the end. But I think that overall, it's going to be a good thing for them.
Yeah, no, we saw it. We got ourselves handed it, and they had to learn from this. And then speaking to them, they were like, "Man, you know what? This was a lesson, and this is something that we got to, learn from, and know how to step over it. It's like building a bridge, and you got to walk over it.
Yeah.
Don't sulk in your sorrows. You just admit that what happened, and now you just got to press forward." So yeah, that's the mindset that they have now, and they're really excited for the next steps for Honor of Kings, which is really good. It's been crazy here in the Philippines. They've made some noise, so everyone's pretty excited.
That is very awesome. That is very, very cool. Okay, as we're starting to close up, any sort of final thoughts? Anything that you want to kind of give a shout out to, Eric?
Man, I guess I want to shout out the Filipino local players, and no matter what comes your way in regards to not qualifying for this or not qualifying for that, just make sure you do your own parts. You do your own, like in basketball, do your extras. Don't just come to training and just train there. No, do your work outside training. So you go home and you practice. You don't just play the game. You do research. What hero pool do you need to learn? What items do you need to get? How do you counter these type of heroes? So you have to do those extras to be able to progress and be a better player and to improve. You know that you just got to do them. Just don't play the game.
Yeah.
You know, playing the game helps, but if you do that on top of research and experience, man, you'll be even better with the right mindset.
All right. Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for helping us become a better gamer, better in terms of health, mental health as well, which is kind of something that we don't really talk too much about. And of course, of the charity donation, all of them should be going to my boy Deseret Foundation. We'll have links below. Please ensure that you do donate to them. It's a great cause. Let us know. Send us. You don't have to send us screenshots of how much you've sent, but we do want to know that we're making a bit of a difference in that regard. All things that we should let everybody know, because again, we've taken the time from Eric to be here. Thank you so much. Any other final words before we close out?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to you guys. So, Ken and Holder, just appreciate the time that you guys have invested into this podcast as well. You know, it's a privilege to be here with you guys again, and hopefully we'll see you guys more in the future. Well,
okay.
I know that's a definite.
For
That's
sure,
definite.
I think we'll all be noticed. And if you want to see more of everyone here, right, Eruption's on my left. So you can find it at EricEruptionTai. You can type that on Facebook, IG, TikTok, all the same. Yeah, and
All
then
the same.
for
YouTube,
Holler, my right,
all that.
Holler TV. I think that's the way you will find him. And then for me, it's Kindlefu. That's it. TikTok is official Kindlefu, but Kindlefu will get me as your result as well. So happy to see you guys here. Thank you for supporting us as well. And we will have another guest as well next week, and we'll see how that one goes. For now, it's been fun, it's been fit, and it's been explosive. So we'll see you in PKL, and we'll see you in KIC. Yeah, we'll try. Flat.
All right.
See you.
Gamer Flex. All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. And everyone that's watching and everyone that's been supporting, maraming salamat from the Philippines. Thank you so much.